All right, and Bridget, I going to make you, if I make you co-host, you can share anything, right?
Yeah, and actually
Okay.
I should be able to share without being a co-host because of the way you set up your account, but either way is perfect.
You're good now. I'm still learning like all the preferences and everything. So yeah, it's recording.
Fantastic. All right.
Ways. Okay.
Okay, guys. So this is session 2. Last time we went over, oh my gosh, so many things. We went over, how to pretty up your profile and why that matters. Organizing your boards to be consistent with what you want people to see. What else did we cover, guys? Do you remember?
Oh yes, how to connect and
yes.
Put links.
The like extensions.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about extensions, yes. So hopefully, have you guys had a chance to play with those things?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah? What did you learn?
That first like week afterwards, I spent a lot of time just kind of organizing different boards and like creating, kind of like how I do in my parties. I create the topics so that there's everything for body care under one, hair care, skin care, men's line and whatnot, so that it's all easily accessible. So if someone were to visit my page, they could like, if they have a specific thing they're looking for, they'd know where to look pretty quickly. Just to make things easier for the people that would be visiting that may not have as much information and knowledge about social media in general, which is kind of our clientele.
Yeah.
And like Mike's demographic line.
Yeah, making it clear, organized. That way there's no second guessing as to what's in this folder. So yeah, that's fantastic.
That is like the absolute point of Pinterest. You nailed it.
Yep. 100%.
Organizing. How about everyone else? Did you guys have any aha moments as you were playing around after the last session?
No, I not yet. It's mind blowing to me how amazing it is. I know that Colleen had a question she wanted me to ask. She's having a problem connecting Instagram and WhatsApp. I think that's what she had. She's having a problem connecting those. But I'm
connecting them to her Pinterest.
Yeah, being able to make extensions. I'll let her email you. Sorry. Okay. She was like, if you have a chance to ask her, tell her I'm having a problem connecting those. And I said, okay. So
yeah, it might be those extensions, but those wouldn't necessarily connect to Pinterest unless you're running something like a ScentShare that's posting to all of your platforms.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure exactly what the question is, but yeah, would be happy to help with a little more clarification.
Hey, Bridget.
Yeah.
You had recommended using Google Chrome as your browser with this, right? Because that's where the extensions that you use were working well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the other options and if they have anything like extensions. I just know that the Google extensions are very powerful tools.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft Edge has it.
Does it too?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
if
I think I found them in
available,
Safari.
Yeah, by all means.
I think I found some extensions on Safari, but I don't feel like they either my knowledge of how the extensions were to work with Safari. I think sometimes just the way that the software is created, it doesn't interface the same way with the websites from
It doesn't like to play nicely with other companies. So.
Exactly. Just like how Facebook likes to change things on us constantly. So we are trying to run our parties the same way, and then it just changes week to week. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Apple is really, really good for creative design type things.
Mm-hmm.
Not so good in playing nicely with other platforms and companies, but we won't go there.
That's putting it nicely.
Okay, guys. So today we're going to take it one step further. We're going to talk about actually creating a pin and making it buyable. So what does that process look like, and how do you get the most out of what you're putting out there on your boards? And then we're going to talk about hashtagging because putting a pin out there is not really going to do you a whole lot of good unless you're hashtagging and getting it in front of the right people. So those two things go hand in hand. So I'm thinking that that's going to be enough content to keep us very, very busy and answering lots of questions from all of you. But if not, we can, continue the conversation in other areas that you guys are still curious about. So with that being said, I am going to share my screen, and there's my Pinterest. I couldn't find my Pinterest. All right, now I'm gonna extend you guys because now I don't see your faces. There we go. All right, you guys see my Pinterest?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So we talked a little bit last week about the fact that, like any other platform, Pinterest gives preference to pins that are in the size that they like best. So Instagram, they want it to be square. Facebook, they want it to be a little rectangular, but kind of square. They all have their preferences. So Pinterest preference is very tall and narrow. So one of the best ways to utilize this, I know we talked last week about Canva, but Canva will honestly be your best friend in pinning. And here's why. You can come here, simply click on social media, and you can click over here to Pinterest pin, and it will set it up for you. So it will automatically give you the correct dimensions for a pin. Okay, so you could put anything in here. You could go to your uploads and you could put in something that, let's see, you could grab this guy that I already had in here, and you could adjust it to the size of the pin, whatever you choose to do. And then you can, put some products down here. Anything you want to do in your creative mind. The thing that I like to do more than creating a pin from scratch is to actually go to one of the pieces of content that you've already created. So for example, I know a lot of you go through to the albums in the inspirations group, and you just take those tiles, which by the way are square and are not Pinterest preference. So here's an example. Oh, look who's right here. So I can go to this tile that just happens to be our friend Nick. Right? And I can come up here to resize. So let's assume that you've already put this on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you want it to go. You can come right up here to resize and click Pinterest pin. And I'm going to copy and resize just so I don't lose this version of it. But what it's going to do, it's going to give me a new setup that's a pin. Yeah, love it.
Yes.
Okay, so this, to me, this is a huge time saver because literally all the content you've been creating for the past year, if you've been here for a year or 6 months, whatever, you can take that exact same content and literally just resize it in 2 seconds. And then you come up here, publish to Pinterest, as long as you're connected to your Pinterest. I just let Jen in, sorry.
Thank you.
Hey,
I'm
Jen.
mesmerized. Like I'm not paying attention to anything else. I'm just staring at the screen.
So guys, then all you really have to do is come here, publish to Pinterest. And here's what it's going to look like. And I'll show you why it may not be your best bet to do this. When you click here, it's going to take me through the process to connect. Hopefully it doesn't ask for my password, because if it does, I'm going to have to, yay, didn't need my password. Okay, cool. So it's going to ask me what board I want to use. So Jen, you'll appreciate this. Let's just choose Wrestling Mom. Okay, so then I'm going to choose what type of post I want it to be. So the automatic automatically selected the GIF because it's a short video. So it's going to tell you what it's most likely going to be classified as. So it leaves the guesswork out of it. Okay, so then it asks you for a title, description. I'm going to change this to 1 page because that second page we're not really using. And then it's going to ask you to add a description. Now, the reason I don't like this as much is because it doesn't allow you to pull in the hashtags that I'll show you here in a minute. If you already know what hashtags you want to use, this is a perfectly fine way to get that pin out there. It also doesn't allow you to make your pin buyable. Okay, so if you want a quick and easy way to get a pin out there from your current content, hands down, quick, easy, done. Okay, but it's not going to give you the added functionality of the hashtagging and the pinning. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, questions so far on that part of creating a pin?
Can I just ask a real quick question?
Yeah.
You know how Facebook knows like when we copied pictures? Is that the case in Pinterest too? Like where, like if you were using that picture of Nick and then other people were using that picture of or whatever tile that we all overuse over and over again, is that the same way in Pinterest where Facebook kind of doesn't show it because it feels like it's copied and pasted, or not really?
Good question. So if you think back to what we talked about last time, the beauty of Pinterest is that it is a search engine. So they don't care how many times people post the same picture. They don't care how many times people share the same picture.
Okay.
It's a completely, it's not a social media platform. They're not worried about people, you know, stealing other people's content, because that's the point of Pinterest, is sharing content that you saw somebody else post, right? So it's a different type of it's just a different platform. So yet another reason why we should be using Pinterest way more than we currently are, because they don't have all those barriers that your typical social media platforms would have.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's just say we don't want to use this publish option, but we do want to use this image. Okay, so I can come here to download it instead, and I'm just going to download page 1. Okay, so then if I'm in Pinterest, and you know what, that's not the best idea because there won't be a product on it to share, but I can still show you kind of the idea of it. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on create, and I'm going to create a pin. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to select, actually, there it is. So I'm just going to drag it and drop it in here. Okay, so there's the pin that I just downloaded. Now, over here on the left, you see this little price tag sticker?
Mm-hmm.
It says tag products, okay? So let's just assume that in Nick's background, he has a body butter, okay? You're gonna go to URL, and you're gonna go to, Kelly, did we use your shop, your personal website last time? Is that the one we used?
We use yours.
I don't have one.
Oh, I don't remember. You can get me. There I am.
The Easy Beauty, or
Yeah.
what's your?
The Buy Shop at Home Kelly Legarreta.
It's Kelly Legarreta. Okay.
Yeah.
Legg.
Legarreta.
I always want to put the wrong double letters on.
That's
yours.
okay.
Sorry about that.
That's
Me
okay.
too.
Big grr, like dogs, like a growl. And that's how you know there's 2 R's.
Okay. I'll
You are
remember
welcome.
that.
Yeah.
So if I come to shop and it loads the shop, it's find a body butter. All right, here's a body butter. So I'm going to click on the actual page that shows the body butter. I'm going to take this link, copy it, put it right here. There's my body butter. Save product. Boom. Now guess what happens? When someone sees this pin, they click right here on this body butter and they go straight to Kelly's personal website. Easy, right? So while our back office doesn't offer not our back office, but our personal websites, while we can't link them to a lot of like third-party sites and whatnot, like I can't sell direct from Pinterest, but I can have a buyable pin. So it's one less link that they have to click than it would be if, you put the link and then they had to go, and it's just much more streamlined this way. So let's say there's also in his background a, let's see. Let's say he's got white musk in his background. Same thing. I'm going to go through, copy, paste that URL, come here to URL, click the little arrow. Once the image comes up, I select the image, save products. And you can have up to 24 products. So if you have like a collage of the tea tree collection, boom, 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 tag all those viable products.
Amazing.
And you started doing that by the price tag on the
You
left?
froze on us.
How did you start getting those pictures over there?
Yes, there was it's
Sorry.
gone now because we've already started uploading them, but I'll show you. So if I take these off, here we go. There's a little
There you go.
icon here that says tag products.
Okay.
Make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. So as you are putting in your description, you're limited to 100 characters. So you want to make it's kind of like, have you guys ever worked with Google AdWords? No? Okay. So basically, there are certain words that pull people in from the internet. So like if you do a search for calendars, for example, like there are websites that have added an ad word as calendar because they want Google to show everybody their calendars, right? Same concept, because it's a web search engine. You want to make sure that you're using the words that are going to get people to look at your pin. Okay, so, and this is a bad example because of the image that I'm showing here, but if this were, a picture of Nick with all of his products, we would say something like, every man needs great bath and body routine. I don't know, just something that is going to be those key words that people are likely searching. Okay. And then tags are going to be the hashtags. Now, I'm gonna leave this so I can show you how to find your hashtags because they're not all created equal. Okay. So before I do that, what questions do we have on this part of creating a pin?
So when you, over here to the left side of your screen where you have that picture of me and everything, yeah, that. How was it that got there? Was that because you uploaded that directly from Canva?
Yes and no. So what I did was I was here in Canva and I downloaded it to my PC. And then from Pinterest, I uploaded it. So it came up here in
Okay.
the bottom part of my screen, and I literally just pulled it in. So actually, let me give you an example. If I wanted to make this a 2-page, so let's do this. If I want to make it a 2-page pin,
Yes.
oh, that is not what I was trying to do.
And while she's doing that, Nick, I think if you can upload it for Pinterest, but you can't tag the products like that. So instead, she downloaded the image and then re-uploaded it from her computer if she wanted to tag the products. So you
Okay.
can do it both ways. You just have different options of how you can label and
Right.
tag the post.
Yeah, so like when we were here, if I were to click publish to Pinterest right here,
Mhm.
it's not going to give me the option to do the buyable pin and take those URLs.
Okay. There we
Right.
go. Okay.
So if you're just going to pin something that is related, so like let's say you wanted to pin this and you wanted to congratulate a team member, and maybe
Mhm.
you have a pin that's all about, you know, empowering people to be entrepreneurs, and you want to put this pin in your empowering people to be entrepreneurs board. You could then simply go in here and do it straight from here, because you're not worried about putting a buyable pin out there.
Okay. So this is good for those sections about like joining the opportunity and like talk to people about the business itself. So
Yep.
when we don't have something to sell, that's a good option for getting the pin to Pinterest directly from Canva.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Sure.
So if I were to click on here, I could set up a second page to this pin. So this time I'm actually going to click on it instead of dragging and dropping. And
Mhm.
I'm going to find that tea tree picture that I just had. Okay. So now again, you see how it tells me that they don't recommend this size. So I can either do it like this, or I could put it back into Canva, resize it as a pin. But for the sake of this, we're just gonna go with it. Okay.
Okay.
So you could do it as many pages as you want. So this is going to create a carousel if you put more than one page. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to go back to my home feed and show you how to find the best hashtags to use. Because again, we want to make sure that the right people are seeing our pins. So if you come here to the search bar, let me just start here. What's the first phrase that you think of when you think of the Body Shop at Home?
Self-care.
Skincare.
Skincare.
Self-care, skincare. What'd you say, Kelly?
I said skincare,
Okay.
Bath and Body, cruelty free.
Okay. So if I type in here, skincare. Okay. Do you see these?
Mhm.
These are the top searched things when you put in skincare. That's important to you because if those are the top searched things, those are the things you want to hashtag.
Right.
Okay. So you would hashtag skincare routine. You would hashtag skincare tips, skincare products, skincare packaging, right? Any of those things that are relevant, you just have to make sure that they're relevant to your pin. So for example, skincare aesthetic may not be relevant to what you're posting. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Okay. So if we do the same thought process and we look for cruelty, did I spell that wrong? I did.
Nope, you're good.
Hi, honey. In about an hour. I'm in a meeting, sweetheart. So same thing here. So, you know, straight cruelty-free makeup, cruelty-free skincare, right? So these are going to be the things that you hashtag dependent on what pin you're putting out there. Did you guys know this?
Mm.
Cool. So same thing goes for Facebook. If you want to find out what hashtag to use, do a search. The first things that pop up are going to be what the most searched phrases are.
And Instagram is a little bit different than that, though. Instagram is a different way of using hashtags. Do you find that, Bridget? Do you?
I've always done the same on Instagram.
I learned something really interesting. I took a course, and I don't know if this is relevant, but for Instagram, for example, if you put in skincare and there's 2.5 million hashtags with skincare, if you have a limited amount of following, your post gets lost in 2.5 million.
That makes sense for
right?
Instagram. Absolutely.
Unless you go up to when you're searching hashtags and you go to most recent. But most people don't do that. They just want to see the most popular.
Yeah.
So the way that I was taught is you have to find your hashtags that have the same average of likes that your average post gets. So let's say my average post gets like 55 likes, okay? So I want to search hashtags that relate to my posts that are averaging the same amount of likes as I do. And then that will get your post seen in more people's feeds. And then you can build from there. So that was a really interesting process that I use. It takes a little bit of research because skincare, it's a little bit easier for my animal massage business because I found animal acupressure was a good tag that had about the same amount of likes on my average post. And so using that hashtag got my post in more things. Your goal is to get in the top 10 or top 9 photos when you look at the most popular. So if I type in animal acupressure, my photo needs to be in the top 9 of those pictures. And that's how I know that I'm getting the most views that I possibly can at my follower stage at the moment, and it grows from there. Does that make sense?
That's great information.
Yeah. Nick, does that make sense to you?
That it just, I think I'm kind of thinking in the mathematical sense as to how, like, you're having to wrap your head around the fact that like your normal post would get about 55 likes, and so then you're looking for a hashtag that has that many, it's been used that many times.
No, you're trying to get your post in the top 9 that shows when you search that hashtag. So if you typed in men's skincare, you
Right.
would want to be in the top 9. But men's skincare has like over 2 million views. So you
Yeah.
need to find a hashtag that will get your photo in the top 9. So you need to be looking at hashtags that are of people that use them, and you're going to look at their average. You're going to look at that top 9 and be like, oh, this person has 2,000 likes. I'm not there yet. Or, oh, this person has about 50 likes and 30 likes and 40 likes. You're like, that's where I am right now. And so
Okay.
it takes a little bit of research. So you have to search hashtags, look at the top 9 and look at their average number of likes. And so what your goal is to get in the top 9 photos that show up when you search that hashtag. It takes some research. So skincare is a hard one because
like
it's such a big thing. So,
Yeah.
so sorry, I hope you don't mind me interjecting that, but
Not at
Instagram
all,
is a
not at all.
weird one. Yeah.
But that's like something you do not for like every single post, but that's like something you do to find the right hashtags for where you are
Yes.
at a certain. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And don't get me wrong. I still use skincare and cruelty-free beauty and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find things that will get me a little higher in the search feed for a particular hashtag.
So just out of curiosity then, just to test that theory on Pinterest, what is one of them that is a good one for you on Instagram?
For me,
Uh-huh.
I haven't really found a beauty one yet that isn't.
Oh, okay.
overly- not yet. I'm still looking. I'm still trying to find a niche.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I said, animal acupressure was one that worked for me for my animal massage business. So
Yeah.
I'm in the
Okay.
top 9 in a couple of those categories.
Let's just see what happens. Yeah. Very few things come up.
Mhm.
I spelled it right? It says it's wrong.
1C.
Well, no wonder.
Mhm.
There you go. One thing came up, and that's animal acupressure. So.
Yep.
And then the other options under there are just other
They're-
users or boards.
These are users, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And none of these are you, right, Kelly?
No, but that's the school I taught for though.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same. It works a little bit differently on Pinterest than it does on Instagram, but same thought process is you want to use the hashtags that are going to get you in front of the audience that you want to be your customers. Now, your hashtags for customers are going to be very different than your hashtags for looking for people for the business. So maybe if you're looking for people for the business, you want to search something such as work from home is way too broad. So let's think maybe help me out, guys. Well, let's just see what happens if we do that. Yeah, see, outfits, offices, desk setup. Yeah, so, clearly here, not a whole lot along the lines of what you guys would be looking for. So to Kelly's point on Instagram, sometimes you do have to do a couple searches to see what would stick for you.
And also to your point, Instagram is social media. This is a search engine. So I don't think the same rules will apply, especially since you told us to make sure that we're greasing the wheel, making sure that we're pinning at least 25 pins a day so that Pinterest knows that we are sharing the love, and therefore they will reward us for sharing the love. So it's not like a like algorithm like Facebook or Instagram. It's a search engine. So okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is beautiful because, they're not going to shut people down for posting anything because it's not social media.
Mm.
Now, clearly, if you're posting inappropriate things, they'll take it down, but it's definitely a different ball game.
Cool.
So the other thing that I wanted to show you and able to get in front of the right people is Pinterest groups. And this is like a kind of a secret thing that isn't really published. So if you do a quick Google search for Pinterest group boards, it will give you so this may not be the right thing. Let's see. Well, here's an article. So we'll just click on here. So there are people that focus their entire day on compiling lists of group boards. So here's a list of more than 400 Pinterest group boards. So you have to be, it's kind of like Clubhouse. You have to be accepted to a group board. But what the beauty of a group board is that it's essentially that anything you post is going to be seen by the entire group, whether they're searching your hashtag or your product or anything. They're going to see it simply because it's going to be in their feed. So let's see. These are all bloggers, entrepreneurs with heart. Perfect. So you could come through here. And typically they'll say in here how to join. So pin one pin for every pin you drop. So basically all they ask you to do is if you share a pin to the group, they want you to repin someone else's pin. So like you said, Kelly, share the love, right? So for this one, all you would do is email this person to be added to the group. But this has got, over 1,000 followers. So it's a really great way to connect yourself in the right areas and get more exposure to your pins. Yeah, lots of interesting stuff here. But yeah, I think there's so much more to Pinterest than most people realize that, you could honestly, you could run your entire business on Pinterest. So. All right, I am going to stop my share and open it up to you guys. What other thoughts, ideas, questions have come up as we've been taking you through these pieces?
I just want to say this has been great. I mean, even like I thought I knew Pinterest, but you just taught me a couple of things, which I'm super excited that I know now. As I told you yesterday, I usually just am scrolling Pinterest for recipes or how to decorate my home or kid stuff, but this has been super eye-opening. So thank you for having me on. I'm glad I got to join.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be with us.
Bridget, do you think it's worth it to do Pinterest ads? Or is that a whole nother session?
So I didn't talk about ads, and that's a really great question, Lisa. I have done Pinterest ads, and I'm trying to look back here and see if I can see in my analytics how many ads I've done and what the success rate was on them. I mean, it's been years though, because I've been, focused on my corporate job for the past year. But when I was doing them, the most effective ones that I did were all videos, and they were typically very lifestyle oriented. So it was like current fashion trends. It was, very, very visual things. So for example, when the company puts out assets for you guys, they're typically, like a flat lay of some products, or there's not a whole lot of people in our assets. Those don't do so well because people want to see the products being used. They don't want to see just a product. Now on your buyable pins, that's different. I think that if you're really good at doing your buyable pins, you don't need to pay for ads. But when we're talking about building your leadership business and getting people to join you, I think sponsored ads would be smart.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and I will say that they are a lot more affordable than Facebook and Instagram. And you don't really have to set up as many criteria because it's a search engine. So, they're just going to show it to anybody that searches for it.
Cool.
But it does have similar targeting, which is nice.
Have you ever
What
done a
else?
Pinterest party?
I haven't done a Pinterest party. I've heard of them.
Me too. So I have to wrap my brain around how to organize it and how it would work. So, but it'd be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be super simple if you've already got your boards organized. I'm trying to check the chat here.
Yeah.
You
Sorry,
tried
that was supposed to
Pinterest
be.
party. Oh, sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, if you check, oh no, never mind. That went to
Because I'm in the car.
It's in the car.
Because I'm in the car.
Jen direct messaged me. It's like it's an
Everybody.
ongoing joke that Jen is always in her car, no matter
Always in the
what
car.
we're doing. She's
She's
always in her
amazing.
car.
She's on the
And so
go.
We love you, Jen. We love you so much.
Jen needs to be a commercial for BTSAH of like, you have no excuse. You're in your car. You can sell a body butter. Jen Davidson
Right.
does it every day. It's like,
Yes.
I say that every time. There are no excuses, none whatsoever if I'm in my car.
she's
I
my
was in
hero.
CVS.
Are you
buying one of
actually
them with my-
driving? You're driving?
No, I mean, I'm sitting in the driver's seat, but I'm not
Oh.
driving right now. So what I do is I'll prop my phone up here
Yeah,
and I'll
she's
listen,
safe.
but I'll turn my video off so I don't do anything that would cause me to be arrested or anything like that. So yeah. I'm multitask. I am the master of multitask, I think, Lisa.
She is.
I
She
was like,
did.
if she's driving, I'm impressed.
I told Bridget this, but sometimes like I'll be on my way somewhere and a training will start. So I'll put my, like at a stoplight or something, I'll put my phone on and I have a little clip in my dashboard and I'll just put my phone there. And so when I turn everything off, but I had done that at a stoplight and put my phone in the clip, and my business is my car is wrapped and it has my number on it, and somebody called and started screaming at me. They're like, stop watching videos on your phone. And I was like, I'm
Oh my
not.
gosh.
I was just getting it started so I could listen.
Kelly was so worked up. She's like, they thought I was driving watching a video.
Oh,
All
Well,
right,
let's try that Pinterest party. Let us know what the results are. I would be super curious to see
Yeah.
what the
Does
outcome
that run off of
be like.
boards, or how does that run? Like, how does a Pinterest party run? Is it like off of boards? Is it off of, how would you run that? I can't even wrap my head around that.
I
No.
can't wrap my head around it either, unless, yeah, I have to do some research. I'm just,
Yeah.
Unless it was a group. Maybe it's in one of those groups.
It could be. My understanding is that it's literally just directing people to certain boards at certain times. So there's no face to face. It's, hey, you know, for this 15 minutes, go to the shower gel board and, you know, find the one that, you know, has a citrus fruit, or, you know what I mean? Like you do the things based on what board you're sending them to.
very cool.
Oh,
So it's almost like a scavenger hunt through.
Scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
I like that. That's interesting. Now with Pinterest, when it comes to like messaging, can you create like a group message to get to people, or like is it just kind of a free for all where you put the message out there on your main page or whatnot?
Yeah. So I used to cold message people on Pinterest. I was that girl. But I'll tell you what, people are a lot more receptive on Pinterest. Because it goes back to the same thing we were saying last time. It's not spam on Pinterest because people are there looking for certain things, right? It's not like you're spamming them because they're there looking for those things. So
Mhm.
if you do a search for people that, like, remember when I did those searches and people's profiles came up? That's because those people focus in those areas. So if I click on one of those people's profiles, I could simply say, hey, I saw that you post a lot of pins on, you know, cruelty-free products. Not sure you're familiar with this brand, but thought you might like to familiarize yourself with this. Here's why I love it. You know what I mean? It's just different because it's a web search platform.
Do you have, this is Mariah Kelly. I just started with you guys.
Oh,
Do you have the first portion of this Pinterest learning?
Yes.
Because I
it's-
saw that
it's
this was
pinned in-
part 2 and I haven't
Mhm.
seen part 1, so I'm a little lost. I wanted to
No
I want
problem.
first part.
It's pinned in the announcements in Team Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to get you in there, but it's pinned in the announcements. So the
Okay.
recording.
Perfect.
cool.
Thank you.
Kelly, I love
Welcome.
you pinned the Pinterest training.
I did. I did. So
Awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, me
I
too.
have
I'm
a
excited.
question. So when I create a pin, where do I put hashtags?
Depends on, are you creating it direct from Pinterest?
I don't know. I've tried both, one from Canva and then one on Pinterest.
Okay, so if you're doing it direct from Canva, you would do it right there in the description.
Okay.
And if you're doing it from Pinterest, you would do it in the part that says tags. And it automatically hashtags it, so you don't have to put the actual hashtag.
I'm not seeing tags. That's what's driving me nuts. All I see is add alt text. and then add a destination link.
Yeah, and by the way, adding alt text is a really great thing because you guys know what alt text is? No? Okay. So alt text is what's used by the blind community because they can't see the pins. So if you want to be inclusive and allow the blind community to quote unquote see your pin, you would put an alt text and say, you know, green bottle of Body Shop tea tree oil sitting on a bathroom bathtub. You know, you would literally in words describe what is in your picture.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Jocelyn, I'm not sure where yours is without seeing your screen.
Jocelyn, have you added a photo to that pin? Like when you have like the add alt text and you see the add destination link, do you have anything over on the left-hand side, or is it just the drag and drop click to link, upload images or video that's there?
Hold on. I'm all over the place.
So let me see if here, kind of sharing my screen in a different way.
Okay.
So this is what is on my screen right now, but I haven't done anything over here
Right.
to add a picture or anything. And so there's the tags and whatnot hasn't shown up yet. So I wonder if it's a matter of having something in there already, because it probably won't let you add tags until you actually have a pin of some sort, I would imagine.
That would make sense.
But where you see add destination link, the add alt text comes down, and then you also see add tags that come in there as well, in that, like in the area where you see the add destination link.
I'm glad you mentioned add destination link because I completely forgot to mention that part of it. When you are putting a pin out there, if you're doing a buyable pin, you've done the direct link to those particular products, but it behooves you to put in that destination link your actual main shop, as opposed to any of those one particular products, because you want them to go to your full shop.
Right.
And then when you're sharing a pin, it also allows you to update the destination URL of those. So if it's not someone, so let's say you guys see Kelly pin something. If you pin Kelly's pin to one of your boards, it's going to send your viewers to Kelly's personal website. Okay. So sounds terrible to say, but you want to change that destination link to your own. So amongst your teams, it's, you know, we want to share. When it gets a little iffy is when you're using content and sharing it from somebody that created it on their own, and then you're changing the link to yours. So that's not quite, I wouldn't say it's unethical, but it's not necessarily what you want to do. But if you're sharing things from your teams, make sure that you're, you know, giving them the right destination.
Yeah. I wonder if we could create a like a, I don't know, I guess amongst us, I mean, don't shoot me for considering another group, but like a content sharing group, you know what I mean, for things, I don't know.
Do you have a Canva team set up?
I do not at the moment.
That's exactly what you would need. You don't need a new group. Just go into your Canva and set up a team.
I forget about that.
I think we have one for Mermicorn.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Kelly, I think we have one for Mermicorn. I think, am I right, Nick? Didn't Teresa set that up for us?
In Canva?
Yeah, a team Canva.
I mean, she may have done that. I may not have been in on that.
She did.
I'll set one up for everybody so that people can get some of the graphics and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
This is awesome. Thank you so much for part 2.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, I am going to be watching all of your Pinterest accounts to see what kinds of fun stuff you're putting out there.
The pressure. Okay. Now I gotta get on it. So
And when I see them, I will pin them also to help your numbers go up.
thank you.
So I actually just tried to create a pin here, and I'm not having tags show up, like the add tags button show up there.
Did you guys both convert to a business account?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nick, can you share your screen?
Sure.
I mean, like actually share your screen?
On my iPad, like on this, or do you want me to just show you this?
Oh, I didn't know if you were able to share your screen on your iPad.
I
Oh,
mean,
'cause
I
you're not-
can.
you're on
I'm
your
sure I
iPad.
can.
Sorry. That was dorky of me.
I mean, I use my iPad because the camera on my computer doesn't work.
Got you. So
But
you
yeah,
cannot. Okay.
yeah. So let me see if I can just get the brightness. So this is where I am now on here. I'm trying to see if you can get any closer, but that's, so I'm not sure if there's something else I need to do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always add your hashtags in the description without doing it in the tags. Maybe it's because I have a higher level account. Maybe there's certain functionality that they add as your account grows. I don't
Yeah.
have an answer to that, but there's got to be something in there that I would say if you don't have it, just put your own hashtags in.
Request a feature. There is a request a feature option over under the right-hand side.
Well, there you go.
So let's see. Okay, this is too much right now. No. It's like a Q&A, like, what do you need from Pinterest? And I'm like, I want the same thing everyone else has. Like, help a
My
brother out.
friend has this and I want it.
Yeah, right. Bridget has it. I want it too.
Awesome, guys. Very good. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on and wanting to learn new things and get exposed in other ways. So yeah, exciting
Thank you.
stuff.
Thank you for doing this for us. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah,
are
thank you,
very
Bridget.
welcome.
Okay.
Thank you very
Bye,
much.
Thanks so much, Bridget.
Guys.
You.
Good to see everybody.
Bye. Yeah.
Have a good day.
Trying to stop recording. I'm always the last one. I'm so slow, you guys. I can never stop it in time. You guys are gonna laugh every time I record a video, a Zoom link. You're gonna see me here all alone until I figure out how to stop it and leave. All right, stop.